Let's get an investor view on how to view the world and the markets and investments. Brad Jacobs is executive chairman of XPO, career CEO, and serial entrepreneur. Brad founded and led $7 billion companies, but really want to know is what's going to be his eighth. Today he announced that he is creating a $1 billion investment vehicle, but where will that money be going and which industry is it rolling into? And his new book, How to Make a Few $1 Billion, is also out in January. Maybe there's some clues in there, Brad?
There are. The
nice
whole
to see you.
about that.
Okay,
Great to see you.
So give us like the teaser. What are you going to do? Where is it?
What I'm going to do in the news today is that we're taking $1 billion, 900 million of mine and 100 million from friends and family, the biggest one being Sequoia Heritage, and we're putting that in the form of a pipe into a company called Silver Sun Technologies. Then we're going to spin that company off back to the legacy shareholders, give them a $2.5 million dividend, give them a small percentage of my next company, and then I'm off to the races.
Okay. Brad, great to see you. Good morning, it's Guy. Where are the races taking place? Which particular area should we think about maybe those races being?
Well, we're not announcing the industry today. We want the market to digest this $1 billion pipe first. But I can tell you it's going to be a similar industry in terms of its characteristics to the other industries that we've successfully consolidated over the years. So it's going to be in industrial services, large industry, hundreds of billions of dollars in size, something that's growing, something that's rich with acquisition opportunities, and where bigger is better.
I'm like looking through to think like what the clues of what that would be like. Why is now a good time to be doing all of this? Aside from the fact that this is what you do and this is what you love to do. In the macro environment, why does now make sense?
Any time is a good time to start a company that's got a good strategy, a good business plan, and has an ability to put together an amazing management team, because that's what it's all about in the end. And have an opportunity to take technology and apply it to improve the industry that we're entering. And so this is a good time, as good as any.
As good as any. There are differences, you could argue, over the last few years to what we see now. We've got higher interest rates. We've got a labour market that is significantly tighter. Labour seems to have more power. Does that make, some of those characteristics make this time different, Brad, for the industry you're targeting?
Yes and no. I mean, first of all, labor's loosened up a little bit in the last couple of months. But more importantly, that's the economics of where the world is at the moment. But I'm not doing this for a quarter or for 2 quarters. I'm doing this for 10 years, something like that. And the other companies that we've consolidated, the other industries that we've made a lot of money for our shareholders in, we were in there for an average of 10 to 11 years. So where we are, what the world looks like right this minute is really not the point.
So help me understand, is it going to be like taking old industries and like helping it modernize? Is it going to be going where the new sexy thing is? Is it going to be a combination of both?
I don't go for the new sexy thing.
Okay.
I go for industrial services that are real companies.
Like the Warren Buffett of like industrial services.
Well, I'm humbled for you to compare me to Warren Buffett, but
like things we know, we can see, we can touch, we understand.
Yes, real things. Things that are not going to go into the metaverse. Things that are not going to go into virtual reality. Things that AI is going to be our friend, not going to be our disruptor.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that you bring up AI, so let's talk a little bit about that. Industrial services, people talk about the productivity enhancements that AI is going to bring, and industrial services is often an area that they talk about it affecting because the productivity opportunity there could be quite significant. Brad, when you think about where the opportunity is going to come from here, is it scale? Is it the application of technology? Is it the application of a good HR team and being able to manage the people better? Is the secret sauce going to be a combination of all of those? And what's going to go into the mix in terms of the kind of percentages? And are those percentages, again, different?
Well, you raise excellent questions there, and I wrote a whole book about that. and it's not one secret sauce of one particular item. It's a whole bunch of stuff, and putting those all together. And the things that you mentioned are definitely part of it. Applying technology in order to do the business better, in order to give better customer service, in order to create a better workplace for our employees, to communicate better with our employees, foster a really engaged culture, to have an organization that's got fantastic people at all levels. That's the biggest component of all the different components to the trick. Have world-class talent at every level of the company and be very, very picky and disciplined on that. But also be in a business where you have tailwinds in terms of the trend. and where scale is something that's a beneficial thing. Whereas you get bigger, you have economies of scale, and you can serve the customer better, and you can provide more career advancement for your people, and you can spread your SG&A across a bigger revenue base. So all the things you mentioned are important components to creating a lot of shareholder value, but the people is the most important one.
How hard is it to find good people right now?
I am lucky in that I know a lot of great people. So from various industries and various companies that I've worked at and led over the years. So it's not that hard for me. But it's hard. Good people, great people are rare. And if of all the different components of what's going to hopefully make us more successful than we've been in the past even, it's sticking to that discipline of only bringing into the company rock stars, superstar people.
Yeah. We've met a few, calling them rock stars. I think they're definitely
they have
up
Riz.
There.
Can we use that?
Yeah, they have the Riz. They have Riz. Mark, we're talking about you here. Brad, you talk about being able to attract great people. You mentioned a moment ago that you think the labour market is beginning to ease up a little bit. What is your sense of where we are in the economy right now?
It's softened. It has softened quite a bit in the last few months. I don't see it having turned and suddenly getting better yet. I see it still softening a little bit more.
Speaking of the broader economic cycle that we're in, I appreciate that you say you're making decisions for 10 years, so like where we're going in the next quarter is not that relevant. But there are some like structural forces like onshoring / nearshoring, friendshoring, the energy transition, the rise of unions, as Guy had pointed out earlier. What are the trends that you see developing over the next 10 years that really make it a different place to invest than you might have, say, 30 years ago?
Clearly, the biggest trend is technology. And within technology, it's AI. Yeah. And I have a whole chapter in the book about the last 2 million years of the various inventions that we humans have made in our tools and our technology, and how that's accelerated in the last even 20 years. It's dramatically accelerated. And now with generative AI, it's going to take a whole nother leap forward. So in terms of making money in business, you have to figure out a way that you position yourself so that you can use AI to run the business better. You have to be in a business that AI is not going to replace what you're doing, but AI is going to make what you do more profitable. You can get things done faster. You can get information gathered and transmitted more effectively. You can write your comms, your marketing stuff more quickly and more effectively from using AI. You can use AI to do demand forecasting and workforce level product predictions. So you have to figure out a way to position yourself to benefit from these dramatic changes in technology.
When do you think that's going to happen? Over what time frame should we be thinking about it? How are you thinking about the impact that it's going to have? If we can make the economy more productive, we can use people better. It's going to be sort of disinflationary. The impact is going to be disinflationary. We can deal with this with lower rates. Over what time frame should we think about that?
Much faster than we're thinking about it. I think it's accelerating. Okay. The pace of progress in technology, particularly in AI, but also in robotics, in machine learning, the pace of progress is increasing. And Guy, I think that's a great thing. I think that it's going to make life much more interesting, much more human-like, even though that's a paradox. And I think we're going to have a lot more free time for people to do what they want to do, because computers and technology and robots, automation is going to replace a lot of that stuff.
Except for TV anchors, right? Like that can't be replaced.
I don't know. Even CEOs, we're going to be replaced by AI.
Well, that's
holograms and robots.
Oh, good. We'll have an Alex and Guy hologram show.
You and Guy are irreplaceable.
Thank you. Well, I was digging hard for that. So, Brad, wait, go ahead.
So I was going to say we're going to cut that bit and use it time and time again. That's a good thing.
That'll be our holograms. So as you take a look then, are you optimistic about the global economy? Like, I get that you're really pumped about tech and sort of the evolution of how you use AI into certain business streams. But when you look out into what's happening today, how do you feel about where we're headed?
Uncertain. I think there's a lot of variables up in the air. depending on how they're resolved, may be very good for the economy or may be very bad for the economy. And I'm particularly referring to geopolitical events in Europe, in the Middle East, in Asia. These could have a big effect one way or the other, and government programs are going to have a big effect as well.
Right, and all the money going into different things. Hey, Brad, thanks a lot. It was really fun to catch up with you. We could talk to you forever. Brad Jacobs, chairman of XPO Logistics, and congrats on the book. Congrats on the new venture. We're looking forward to keeping track of you.